Yo! In the last episode of the WuWa Civil War, we have seen ridiculous fights over the topic of power creep. Of course, it also involved comparisons with Hoyo games, Genshin, ZZZ, and HSR. Power creep is a hot topic. Unfortunately, discussion didn't even start to have sense. It's because of complete misunderstanding of game design and what power creep even means. So here I am again, to clear up this mess for you. I can already say that concern about risk of power creep is valid, but it's not at all about what community is discussing. The whole battle was waged over whether Zani introduces serious power creep into WuWa with comparisons to Carlotta. It came down to arguing over DPS calculations and how they relate to results in practice. What in some details might be interesting, but completely misses the point. Let's take a look real quick. Zani is Spectro, melee, more challenging to play. Carlotta, Glacial, range, comfy, almost brain-dead gameplay. Yeah. Why some content creators were trying to tell you that Zani power creeps Carlotta? Are they stupid? Or are they trying to manipulate you? Of course, Zani doesn't power creep Carlotta, and she can't power creep her, even if she would be 100% stronger. That's because she is completely different character. It's as simple as that. Power creep doesn't mean whatever increase. It doesn't even mean adding stronger options. No, as a game might be well designed and balanced to have weaker and stronger options with all of them having some role to play. Power creep is only when a stronger option completely replaces older, weaker option. Did anything like this happen here? Of course, not at all. If anything, we should discuss whether Zani rises the DPS ceiling of the game. But oh yeah, that won't trigger the community as easily. That's not all. It's not just that those characters are in different categories. Let's consider why Zani might have higher DPS potential. It is to compensate for being a melee unit instead of range, lack of freezing, more difficult gameplay. My dear viewers, Zani having higher DPS potential than Carlotta is not power creep, it's not an issue, but exactly the opposite. It's fair, it's a good balance. Community should be concerned if Zani would not have higher DPS. That would be bad. It would be a really bad game design. Such comfort options like Carlotta should have lower DPS. Game should be rewarding skill expression and interacting with game mechanics more. Otherwise, game will be simply devolving. You might wonder about comparison to Jinshi. Firstly, Zani works with Frazzle, and I'm not sure whether it has more meaning, but still it should be mentioned that at least formally they are in different categories. Two other details are more important. Firstly, same thing as with earlier comparison. In contrast to Zani, Jinshi is a comfort, skill issue option. So again, Zani being stronger would be only perfectly fair. Secondly, Jinshi didn't get ideal support yet. It seems like she has more potential to unlock. So no, also in this case we don't see any concerning power creep. One more detail adds to the confusion. It was stated openly that calculations that were supposed to show power creep are based on inventing techs. Do you know what that means? Techs push characters to do more DPS than intended. It has nothing to do with the power creep that community worries about, which is the game falling in intentional and systematic power creep. It's surely not doubling down with agenda after being kicked for breaking contract and using leaks. It's surely not weaponizing the community against Kuro once again. Nah. By the way, if you think that limited 5 stars, power creep 4 stars, or standard 5 stars, please stop. Don't be ridiculous and stop listening to content creators who just want to make drama or manipulate you. Of course, again, it's the opposite. It's not an issue, but just a proper game balance. If you want to say in a narrow and specific sense that there is some power creep, like we got power creep in category of electro DPS, alright, fine. If making it clear that it's just in specific context, I see no issues in that. Nevertheless, I would still recommend to be wary, cause you see what a mess can happen. Discussion about power creep is inseparable from the topic of so-called HP inflation. Yes, that makes sense. If older character is as useful as always, then even if it got pushed down on the tier list, it can be said it's still not full-fledged power creep, or at least it's not as bad. From calculations I've seen, in a year there was less than 15% HP increase in the Tower of Adversity. It is not much, and it could be even justified by players figuring out the game and getting properly invested accounts. It's a very different situation than in ZZZ, where maybe you can still clear with older teams, but it's becoming harder and their clear times are dropping. You know what? Let's ask in general. Is there power creep in WuWa at all? I think no, not yet. We simply don't have enough characters yet. Game didn't start running in circles when new characters are just stronger versions of older ones. Adding to this virtually no HP inflation, there is absolutely no problem in WuWa so far. Kuro did a pretty good job with the game balance. Concern about power creep coming to WuWa is valid, but it's not at all what community was discussing. It shouldn't be about a theoretical DPS potential of a single character, because that could be an isolated case. Let's say, for the anniversary, Kuro decided to release exceptionally powerful character. In that case, it wouldn't mean we are entering a phase of crazy power creep. The real issue, and what community should be discussing, is that WuWa is very poor in terms of mechanics, as well as types of content, scenarios and tools to clear them. Most of the time, you can just nuke everything and that's it. Meaning, there is not enough niches to fill, not enough space for diversity of meaningful synergies and gameplay. Attributes and status effects had potential to add something more. And what we got? It's nothing. It's just artificial complexity. That means practically nothing for the gameplay. It's only another thing like character A provides buff to normal attacks because reasons, character B deals most damage as normal attacks because reasons, and you pair A with B. I don't see anything more with Spectrofrazzle and all of that. It's horribly boring. It's disappointing. You might say that WuWa was never much about elements, attributes. Okay. Did Kuro develop other mechanics, like for action gameplay, something more alongside dodge counters and parries? Did they create new types of enemies with unique combat interactions? Did they develop system of ecos into something actually interesting? No, no, and no. Let's face it, WuWa started with poor and only good enough mechanics. After a year, they didn't add or develop anything meaningful. Therefore, yes, WuWa might very easily start running in circles where new options will be simply stronger. WuWa might fall into a severe power creep. And you know, if it will be prevented by adding such bullshit like Spectrofrazzle, that's not even that much better. Yes, it's the same topic as disappointment from Aero Rover or Zani. WuWa community should understand that the issue in all of that lies in poor mechanics, and that's what we should be discussing. Tell me, is it possible that we will start having real discussions instead of nonsense tribal wars? I'm a type of player who wants a game from a game. I mean gameplay, real gameplay, not just flashy animations and clicking for rewards faster. I wonder where are WuWa players like me who are severely disappointed that we are not getting new interesting mechanics and game doesn't develop in terms of gameplay. Share your thoughts and feelings. Thanks and take care.
Tell truth from facade.
Brings it to life.